Comic books, back in the day were just supposed to be funny and just like take you out of reality. But lately, we get a lot of comic books that are really serious and having really strong viewpoints. But not this one, baby. We definitely went back in time on this one where comic books were just supposed to be fun and make you laugh. Man, and that's what this one did. Harley Quinn X Elvira. We're going to be talking about issue number 1 and 2 with minor spoilers. I'm just going to be talking about it. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but this thing is pretty freaking fun. It's going to start off with Harley Quinn having a vision or maybe a dream or a remnants of the past. Well, what happened was last Halloween, she had this big old party planned. And then while the party started, she must have ate something bad because she ended up in the bathroom all night, puking out her guts, pooping out of every which hole that she has, is what she said, and that she could hear the music from the party goers coming through the door. And she felt so bad that she missed the Halloween party. And now she starts to think that she needs to remake this Halloween party. She can have the best one ever. And she doesn't care that it is July right now. And as she starts thinking of what she can do, having parades, having burlesque dances, she sees a poster of Elvira and she says, "That's it. I need to get the Mistress of the Dark Elvira to host my Halloween party and it will go off the charts." And so now we are going to cut to Elvira where she's finishing one of her movie watch-alongs on Channel 51, the crazy horror movies. And as she gets ready to leave, the dude says, "Hey, the boss wants to see you. Go talk to him." And as she walks in there, he says, "Elvira, sit down and have a drink." And she says, "You're already drinking and smoking and the show hasn't even been over for 5 minutes." So she says, "Okay." And she grabs a shot glass and she says, "Might as well do some day drinking." And then the boss looks up to her and says, "Elvira, that was your last show. We are being canceled. Somebody bought the studio and they're going to make kids shows from now on. So we can't have your fine, sexy ass up on this kids channel. And that penthouse that you've been shacked up in that we've been paying for, well, guess what? You got to move out of there too." And so now the next day, Elvira goes back to the studio to gather up her belongings, and the crew is there and they're gathering up their belongings too. And she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And they look at her and say, "Well, the boss man sold us too, so we lost our jobs as well. And did you know that he sold the studio for $300 million and he threw us to the curb, and now he's sitting up in his penthouse, rich as hell?" And Elvira's like, "Oh, hell no. I am not going to stand for this." He's like, "Hey, do you want his address?" She's like, "Damn straight, give me his address." So now Harley and her crew, oh yes, Harley has a crew that's with her. They are outside of the studio waiting for Elvira to come out. And as Elvira comes out, they follow her. But they follow her too close, and Elvira kind of notices. And Harley says to the driver, "You're spooking her. Back off a little bit." And so he does. And then as they follow Elvira into this neighborhood, Elvira pulls up into the big penthouse that her boss was in there. And she grabs a freaking bat with nails out of her trunk. And Harley says, "Oh my God, I think I'm in love with her." And now as Elvira is walking up to the front door, there's 2 security guards there. She says, "Let me in. I got some business to do with him." They say, "You're not going to go any further." She says, "Oh yeah." She holds up the bat, but then they pull out 2 pew pew guns. And she says, "Okay, I'm not going to mess with that." And she walks back to her trunk and she's like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" And then all of a sudden Harley Quinn shows up and she's holding a bazooka, a freaking missile launcher. And she says, "I've never used this before, but I think that maybe you need some help." And Elvira's like, "Oh hell yeah, I do." And then as Harley Quinn hits that trigger on that bazooka gun, boom, blows up the freaking house, dude. Boom! And all of a sudden her boss is flying through the air, but then he lands in the neighbor's pool. bam! And as they call the cops to come and get him, the whole house is burning down. And then Harley Quinn says, "Aren't you hungry, Elvira? I'm always hungry after doing some mayhem." She says, "Yes." And Harley Quinn says, "I know where we can get some great pie." And she's like, "Okay, let's go. Is there any meat in that pie?" Oh my God. And then they go to a freaking family restaurant, and that's the end of chapter 1. All right, man, I'm telling you, you have to go read this because then you can read how Harley Quinn talks and how Elvira talks. And like, you have to read it, dude. I'm not going to like read this for you because it's so funny the way both of them interact with each other and their slang. That's how they talk. They do a pretty good job on it. Like, to be honest with you, I don't like to read books where there's all this type of like slang words or like accents in their words. But this one works really well. I'm able to read it, and like as I'm reading it, I can hear Harley's accents and I can hear freaking Elvira's accent as well. And dude, there's just so many like jokes that are over kids' heads in this one. It's like they're sitting there talking about like pie is, you know, the girl's pie down below, and meat is the guy's meat. And they're like, let's meet them together. You know, there's a one point where it's just like, man, you need to get some and stuff like that. A lot of sex jokes in this, which is really funny. Like, you have to really like, oh my God, like if it was just like a kid reading it. No, this is for mature readers, but it is like totally hidden, like freaking how they talk, man. They're talking dirty, but it's like nonchalant dirty, if you know what I mean. I mean, you definitely need to go read this one. This is number 1. We got number 2 coming up right now. Maybe we'll do the same video. Maybe we'll split this one up and do a 2-parter. But frick yeah, dude. What a fun comic book. Harley Quinn, X Elvira. Digging it as hell. The art is a little bit... Well, I like the art. To be honest with you, it's good comic book art. It's clean. It's great. It's got detail in it. So the art, we'll give the art an 8 out of a 10. And the story, we're going to go ahead and give that one a 9 out of 10. Because it's so much fun. And it's like reading these... I've never read a Harley Quinn book before. Like, if this is how she really talks, that's awesome, dude. Because it was really fun read. And of course, I've read Elvira books. And that is definitely how she talks. It's good. Fun as hell. All right, man. 9 out of 10 on the story. 8 out of 10 on the art, and we'll see where this one goes. Highly recommend it. I highly recommend you go pick it up and read it. All right, man. Triple B's out of the Haunted Basement Studio, and I want you guys to remember one thing. Keep it haunted comics. Like and subscribe only if you want to. Laters.